Now to our top story. The man shot and killed by police in Red Arrow Park yesterday has now been identified as 31-year-old Dontre Hamilton.
A Milwaukee resident with a history of mental illness. During a news conference today, Chief Ed Flynn revealed that Hamilton had been diagnosed with schizophrenia and that family members reported that he had been acting strangely. Hamilton has also had several minor run-ins with police over the years, and Chief Flynn says those encounters could be directly related to his illness. An autopsy has been completed, but the results have not yet been made public. Chief Flynn also making the point today that they aren't doing enough to help the mentally ill here in Milwaukee.
CBS 58's Priscilla Luong was at that news conference. She joins us now live.
Paul and Michelle, we are outside police headquarters where Chief Flynn told us earlier this afternoon there needs to be better mental health services here in Milwaukee, and he says Hamilton's criminal record reflects that. Milwaukee police say the man killed in Wednesday's heated confrontation at Red Arrow Park was a familiar face to officers.
Now, in the course of our investigation into his background, we have learned that this is not his first experience with the Milwaukee Police Department.
Chief Ed Flynn says police encountered Dontre Hamilton when he attempted suicide last year.
Police were summoned to the scene where he had attempted to kill himself by stabbing himself in both sides of the neck and saying, "Voices told me to kill myself and you people too."
Police say Hamilton also has a criminal record of armed robbery and disorderly conduct. Chief Flynn says the crimes resulted from what he believes was Hamilton's battle with schizophrenia.
The disorderly conduct incident began with him yelling profanities at the complainant, causing a crowd to gather.
Chief Flynn says Hamilton's final encounter with officers draws attention to the need for better mental health services.
We are a first response. We are not a solution to this problem.
Officers are trained to deal with mental health crises, but when they are attacked, they're also trained to fire if they feel threatened. We are live at police headquarters. Priscilla Luong, CBS 58 News.
Thanks, Priscilla. How to properly identify and treat the mentally ill is a problem that extends well beyond the city limits. In fact, it's something the county and the state have been wrestling with for some time now. CBS 58's Sarah Barwatz continues our live team coverage.
Across the state, the governor spoke directly on the issue of mental health and how it affects people across the state. In fact, he defended his efforts on this ongoing issue. In the hours leading up to the shooting, witnesses working in the area say 31-year-old Dontre Hamilton was acting strange.
Well, laying on the ground on the sidewalk is kind of weird to me.
He didn't seem quite right?
He didn't seem quite right.
He walked past earlier, like from that direction this way, and he was mumbling or talking to himself. But other than that, the rest of the day he was sitting basically on that bench.
Police say Hamilton was schizophrenic and was a victim of an overwhelmed system.
In 2013 alone, there were 9,600 calls to Milwaukee police of individuals who were in mental health crisis.
The chief says many are not getting the services they need, but Governor Scott Walker painted a different picture.
I signed multiple pieces of legislation earlier this year to help combat mental health issues in the state, from youth all the way through adults. So in total, in the last year, we put more than $30 million into helping counties, local governments, healthcare providers, nonprofits, and other groups combat mental illness in the state.
But Ryan Pinkowski says despite the bigger mental health issues, he feels uncomfortable with what happened here at this park.
Kind of disappointing, obviously. So, you know, the guy's here one day and gone the next. I don't know. Seems like could have possibly been maybe avoided.
Now the governor says that he's put more money into mental health services than any other governor. We plan to do a little fact checking and bring you more details in our later newscast. We're reporting live here in Milwaukee. Sarah Barwatz, CBS 58 News.
Sarah, thank you. Street scuffles can quickly escalate to officer-involved shootings, and the department trains for that.
Put the knife down. What do you think you're doing? Drop the knife on the ground. Drop the knife on the ground. I want to die! I want to die! Breathe in.
This demonstration shows just how quickly a situation can turn. Over the last couple of years, Milwaukee police have invited cameras to see the training to better educate the public when incidents like the one that happened downtown occur.
And the training that we conduct at this academy is consistent with national standards.
According to the U.S. Department of Justice, police are authorized to use deadly force when it's reasonable and necessary to protect the officers or others from death or serious injury. It's a decision made under a great deal of stress and without much time.
As we've been telling you, this shooting comes 1 week after Governor Scott Walker signed a new law requiring an outside agency to investigate any death involving local police. As such, the State Division of Criminal Investigation has taken the lead here. But since this is their first action under that new law, they're kind of feeling their way in terms of investigative procedure and how they interact with other agencies involved, like the District Attorney's Office.
They sent an experienced homicide investigator who works for the Department of Justice. He is designated as the lead investigator. They also brought in 5 or 6 additional special agents.
Chisholm says they're still in the process of creating a pool of outside investigators to handle incidents like this, and that those investigators will be put through some intensive training to get everybody on the same page in terms of process. Just to recap today's developments, Chief Ed Flynn revealing that the man shot and killed in Red Arrow Park was a diagnosed schizophrenic 31-year-old Dontre Hamilton, and the chief now using this incident to call attention to much larger mental health issues in the community. Stay tuned to CBS 58 for all the latest developments on the air and online at